All right, and we are back in the lobby bar for the week of September the 4th, 2023. Brian and Michaela with you here, and we hope that all of our listeners in the United States had a good Labor Day weekend. You got up to something fun, had a cookout, maybe you got out of town. That's what you did, Michaela.
I sure did. I went up into the mountains of the fabulous, very famous Lake Lure, where all the scenes from Dirty Dancing were filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed at the Woodhaven Airbnb. If you are interested in an amazing place, you should go and check that place out because it's awesome. The
Not a
view was
sponsor, could be.
amazing. It was not our sponsor, but could be. No, it was an amazing place. It was right at the base of like the Chimney Rock State Park, which, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
know what Chimney Rock is, it's like this big rock that you can go climb, and it's terrifying and scary, but really cool. And we were like right at the foothills, so we could see these mountain ranges, and I sat there and loved on the mountains. Drank some really fun stuff. I drank a gin and tonic that was really good with a lock and
Mm-hmm.
key gin, which we're going to post pictures of. That was really tasty. But I listened to a lot of Jimmy Buffett because sadly he passed away this weekend, and that makes me so sad.
He did, yeah. Jimmy Buffett passed away just this weekend due to some complications from cancer. So very sad news indeed. Now we wanted to pay a little bit of honor to Jimmy Buffett here in this week's lobby bar. So we're going to be making up a couple of margaritas that we hope Jimmy would be proud of for sure. But before we get into the cocktails a little bit, just wanted to talk about Jimmy Buffett, just kind of loosely in terms of our own kind of experience with him. Jimmy Buffett to me, I mean, obviously you think of Jimmy Buffett, you think of, Margaritaville, you think of like the Parrot Heads as a very faithful group of followers there. But I always think of Jimmy Buffett, and I just think of this guy that just had like a lust for life, was always like friendly and up for anything. I was looking, just kind of through some pages about him, and all of like the acting and all of the kind of like promotional work he did and fundraising for hurricanes and things. Jimmy Buffett just seemed like a real sort of salt of the earth guy, and just kind of let that translate into not just his music but the whole like idea and persona of Jimmy Buffett, which is really pretty excellent. And then of course he had all of the musical hits, of course, which are key here for the drink the music that we're living in right now. Margaritaville, Cheeseburger in Paradise, Volcano, Why Don't We Get Drunk, all those things, all those things you think of when you think of Jimmy Buffett. Just a good time, living life to the fullest. And rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett. What about you, Michaela? Were you a parrot head? Jimmy Buffett seems like something that your dad might have been listening to when you were a youngster. I don't know. Maybe I pegged you wrong, but I think so. I think so.
Yeah, he was. My dad taught me to play pool when I was about 4 years old, and I was so small I couldn't really see over the pool table. But that didn't stop him from taking me to a bar. It was a bar where you could get a Coke. It
It
wasn't
was,
like
it
a
was a
scary
mocktail bar.
bar.
It was a
It was
mocktail
like a
bar.
mocktail bar.
It
But
wasn't
he
like
took me to a
Roadhouse, hopefully.
right. It was but he always played Jimmy Buffett. I remember singing songs like A Pirate Looks at 40, Come Monday, obviously Cheeseburger in Paradise, with my dad a lot. So we always had this thing where we'd hoped we were going to see him in concert. He was in concert a lot. One of the things that he did, even recently, right, is he would do these kind of pop up shows where he would just kind of show up and sing at these places. And he had this really beautiful persona of this idea of a beach bum, right? And it was like, I life is simple, and just be good to people, and the world will, return it back to you. And that is something that I really will hold near and dear to me for the rest of my life. I mean, every time I go and play a game of pool, I always want to put Jimmy Buffett on. And it's so simple. It's as simple as that, but it's so much deeper than that. So I can't talk too much about it because it's going to make me cry, and nobody needs to hear that. But we're going to really miss that. And I'm so glad that we were able to listen to him a lot and see him a lot. Uh, do the amazing concert work that he does. I mean, if you've heard, even as late as like 2003 with It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere, that was really just a really fun song that I think people are going to be singing in bars and pool halls for
Mhm.
eternity. That's a great legacy to leave, and it's only fitting that we at Drink the Movies pair a cocktail with talking about Jimmy Buffett. And what cocktail would be better than a Margaritaville margarita?
That's right, absolutely. So if you look out at your store, you might be able to get a Margaritaville margarita machine. That's something you can do. Margaritaville is this whole kind of brand onto its own. So there's the bar and restaurant chain. There's these Margaritaville margarita machines. There's like clothing lines for Margaritaville. There is all sorts of stuff, but this is the perfect margarita from Margaritaville. You can make this just straight up over ice. You can blend it if you have one of those machines, or you can do it in a blender if you wanted to do that however you want. But we're going to go just the way the Jimmy Buffett would have you do it here. So we're going to go 2 ounces of gold tequila, a half ounce of silver tequila, a half ounce of triple sec, a splash of orange curacao, 1 1/4 ounces of Rose's lime juice. Rose's lime juice you can get pretty much at any of your grocery stores or your liquor stores, anything like that. It's just kind of like a sweetened lime juice concentrate. So 1 1/4 ounces of that. Throw that into a shaker tin with like 2 lime wedges. Shake that up and strain it. If you're doing like over on the rocks, just do it over some ice. Like I said, you can throw it in the blender with some ice, blend it up. I definitely want to go salt on the rim. That's what Jimmy would have you do, I believe, and sip away and enjoy the perfect margarita from Margaritaville. And I have to say, Michaela, you and I each have kind of our own versions of margaritas. We've talked about them before here on the show, but if you're going to a restaurant, getting one of these sounds like it would be pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't think that we're gonna shake too much at Rose's lime juice. If you're gonna use non-fresh lime, it's probably the best one. Rose's is pretty good. Um,
Mhm.
Cuervo Silver, it's not bad. I have to
Not
say,
bad. It's not
not
bad.
bad at all.
Not
Um,
bad.
I like it. I will say this weekend, I was able to drink a lot of margaritas. One of the things that I like to add, a very good friend of mine, Joe Bainham, made me a jalapeno strawberry Jimmy Buffett margarita, which was amazing. And that is, you just chop up an entire jalapeno. If you want it to be super spicy, leave it the way it is. If you don't, make sure to take the seeds out. You add it to some strawberry. You cook that down and mix it with your simple syrup, which is half sugar, half water. Make sure that that gets all melted and beautiful, and then strain it out, and then you got yourself some real spicy, real sweet, real amazing jalapeno strawberry simple syrup. And that's what we added to mine when I was up in the mountains, and it looked beautiful against
Mm-hmm.
the mountains. So we took a couple of pictures there. It definitely, while I was listening to all of the essentials of Jimmy Buffett, he's got like 20 or 30 songs because he's been around since rocks were soft. So it was a long time coming for listening to all of these like 50 songs that I didn't realize that I knew that were all Jimmy Buffett. And it was really made a very lovely evening even more special. So we remember Jimmy Buffett. Rest in peace, dude.
Yeah, rest in peace indeed. And that margarita you sent me a picture of, it does look delicious. Take a look at our social medias. We'll have pictures of those there, and the recipes will be down in the show description and things like that. So yeah, those are our margaritas we wanted to get into. Couple more music notes here. I'm going to be going, spoiler, to Denver, Colorado to see the one, the only Brandy Carlisle this week. Expect kind of a full recap on that. I'm very excited to see Brandy Carlisle perform, but I'm as equally as excited to go where I'm seeing her perform, which is Red Rocks, which just looks like this ethereal place to go and see a concert. So I'm very excited about that. My wife and I are flying out later this week, so expect some pictures and recap of that if I have anything good to drink out in Denver way. We do a lot of checking in from Denver, Michaela, between your work and now my trip of pleasure. So that'll be good. That'll be good. Last week, what did we get up to? We talked about Madonna's Like a Virgin. That was a really good time. This week, Michaela, though, we're talking about something extra special, and it kind of ties into the Jimmy Buffett because I saw Paul McCartney took some time to pay tribute to one Jimmy Buffett. Apparently, they were pretty good friends and well respected of each other. And we're talking about Paul McCartney and the rest of the Beatles this week when we talk about the Beatles' Love soundtrack from the Cirque du Soleil show. So that's going to be a pretty good time. And you want to make sure you're heading over to our Patreon because we're going to have our next vote up going over there. It's patreon.com/drink the movies. You can get the bonus episodes and all of that stuff. But looking forward to talking about Beatles' Love, Michaela. It's a show. It's a modern circus, I believe, is what they classify as Cirque du Soleil. You mentioned you talked to Jimmy Buffett all week. What are you looking forward to talking about on the Beatles here coming up?
Oh man. Well, I feel like they are there's this old adage like is it Beatles or is it the Rolling Stone, and hashtag Beatles, it's always the Beatles for me anyway. um I'm so excited about this particular album, to talk about it because it is something old, something new. The some song been around for almost 60 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
And but this was a newer take on them. And so I can't wait to kind of delve into that. I also think it's really interesting, because this is a performance that we also may or may not have gone to see. I don't know if you have seen it because you like to go to Vegas or not, with your wife. But it's kind of a triple threat here, right? Because it's musically amazing. It had really cool visuals, the show itself, and it's about the Beatles. We're drinking the music. You definitely feel like you've taken something or had a lot to drink with some of these psychedelic sounds. So, like a triple threat of entertainment coming at you.
That's right. Absolutely. We're definitely looking forward to that. To make sure you are subscribed and like the podcast, all that stuff. Look for that on Thursday with our main release. And yeah, going to leave it with that. I want to say on a closing note, Hollywood, pay your writers and actors. That would be great. And thank you so much for hanging out with us in the lobby bar. Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett.
You son of a sailor.